Hey guys, it's Chris from Bronco's Parts Garage. Behind me, I've got the 1995 Bronco, better known as the Demolition Bronco. I don't know if you've seen some of the videos. I'll put links in the description. This will probably end up being a short video, so you'll have to make a few clicks. But anyway, I'm going to show you a few things in this thing and the beating it took at the ORV park.
What we're looking at now is the driver's side core support. These are normally known for rotting out a little bit, but that's a rather large hole. If you can see the scope of it. And if I kind of zoom in on the other side, you can see that that's ripped apart as well. A considerable amount. So let's give you a better look right here. All right. Here's a good shot of the radiator. You can see it's got a concave shape. As the core support collapsed, this started collapsing in on itself. Surprisingly enough, it did not leak. If you recall from the video, this edge of this bumper was down about 12 to 15 inches below that when the frame was flexing. That's made with Rivian frame steel. It's hydroforming tubing, so it's some pretty strong stuff. As a matter of fact, it bore the whole brunt of the weight of the truck with the motor when I drove it straight down onto some concrete, and it just put a little dent right here. Amazing steel, and we just booger welded it on there, and I think you can see other videos where we just made fun of our own welds. Interestingly enough, this spring was ejected in the video, and again, watch the video, it's pretty neat. But it was ejected, the spring bucket stayed intact, the shocks broke, and then the spring pushed through the lower fender well, on the driver's side right here. Bent metal and plastic was almost encroaching into the door, so we actually jumped it for about 3 more minutes before we realized it had spit out the spring, and you can actually see it highlighted in the video. This one's a little bit harder to see, and I'm missing the tip of my finger, so I can't really use the straight edge to show you. But the body was actually buckling in right here on that seam really bad, as well as back here, and I'm guessing that was just from impact. But it's really hard to get a perspective of how much damage is back here. The tailgate didn't fare too well. You know that we had used a gas tank strap to hold it in place. It was already rotted out. We're gonna pull that lock cylinder because I think we have the key for it, but you can see the regulator was ejected out of the bottom of the tailgate that was rotted out. Right there's the OEM motor. It's actually sitting on the trailer hitch. I might even pull the hitch. But this thing, it surprisingly, I thought it would fall off, but it made getting the gas tank out pretty bad. Here's another shot of some separation where the hinges were already rotted out. The reason why we demoed this Bronco. It was a lot of fun, my neck still hurts from it. And maybe you can see right here, the body line dimpling in on the door, right where I'm shining that light wiggling it. That's where everything started folding in half. This is the driver's side wheel well, the front, and you can see where when the suspension gave up the ghost, it pushed this tire deep into that fender well, ripping metal and tearing some stuff apart. These tires got a little chewed up. If you can see, I'm trying to hold the light here. Again, they're chewed up. They were nice. These were the ones that are on the supercharged Bronco. These wheels are for sale. The wheels are fine. Tires, mild cupping, we'll call it, mild cupping. Here's one last shot of the booger welds on that tubular bumper that we made. And by all means, it's not a bumper. We just need something to hold the flag. But you can see this was with a $99 Harbor Freight flux core welder, boogered together. But it held up, man. I mean, those little flux core welders really held up, and these are terrible, terrible welds. I mean, look at, we used nuts for gussets, we used bolts to fill gaps, but it worked. It actually worked and never fell off. But that's the Demolition Bronco. We're parting it out now. So a lot of good parts. We'll see you next time.